berjumpa kembali di podcast jakartainsight.com. Kali ini bersama saya Rahman Sugidianto selaku pemimpin redaksi Jakarta Insight, dan kali ini saya tidak sendiri, masih bersama salah seorang pemerhati sosial dan militer, yaitu Harrison Elliff atau Harry.
Assalamualaikum, how y'all doing?
Apa kabar Bung Harry? How are you?
Good, my friend. Baik-baik saja.
Baik-baik saja.
And you?
So, baik-baik saja. And actually good. Harry, now you're famous now.
Low-key famous. Let's not get carried away.
Okay, but actually last moment you have interview with RD, and you have a very insightful for the people. So today we want to talk about the latest updates.
Okay.
About the U.S. You know, we have 25 days about U.S. strikes, U.S. and Israeli strikes to Iran. What's your opinion about the moment, the strike, the war? I mean, when it is end?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. I'm afraid, and if you look at the poly market ratings on this, most people are betting that it's going to go to ground troops. It looks like we're going to have a ground invasion, probably of Karg Island or something nearby that, some strategic location somewhere along the Strait of Hormuz. And the problem is that if the United States does that, they're going to be sitting ducks. So I spoke to a lot of my friends in the United States who are former military, who are very knowledgeable about international politics and relations. And the conclusion that we all came to, is that if they put a detachment of Marines, something like a MU, that stands for Military Expedition Unit, or even legendary Delta Force, it doesn't matter, because any type of fighting force that we put on that island will be a sitting duck for all kinds of drones, missiles, hypersonics, you name it. And that's not even including the fact that that island will probably be booby-trapped up the wazoo, so it'll be an extremely dangerous island. There will be bombs, mines, tripwires, all kinds of stuff waiting for any American force that is going to that island. It's not going to be good. It would be Iwo Jima levels of death and chaos.
So, I mean, it continue. The war is continue.
Yeah, this war is going to continue. Unfortunately, this is turning more and more into Vietnam every day. And by that, I mean that when we got involved in Vietnam, first it just sort of started out as, well, we're just observing. Okay, well, we're just training. Okay, well, we're just making incursions now. Okay, now we're taking this hill over here. Oh wait, there's another mountain over there that's where the enemy fire is coming from. So now we got to take this. And it's what's called mission creep, where you just start out here and then this and then that and the next thing and then next one thing leads to another, and now you're in a full-blown war.
So, as a former army, do you expect the war, the U.S. military will be better on ground?
Yeah, unfortunately, because every single military that goes up against mountains, against a defending force that already controls the mountains, is in a losing position. We were in Afghanistan for 20 years against a much weaker force. The Taliban was a far weaker, smaller group of people that we were fighting with far less advanced equipment. And we couldn't really dislodge them from Afghanistan. So how could we possibly be expected to deal with a larger, better equipped, better trained, but equally motivated fighting force that's defending their homeland? That's not a recipe for success. I don't care how good Delta Force, the Rangers, Special Forces, any of those groups are. It's a real disadvantage. Militaries usually have a pretty good track record of defeating militaries, as I said on RT last night.
Okay.
Mountains have a really good track record of defeating militaries.
What actually Donald Trump, the real purpose, he wants to change regime, or the actual purpose Donald Trump to strike Iran.
Well, I don't think Donald Trump really wanted to get into this war. I think he's stuck here now because he's been tricked into it by the people around him. He foolishly listened to him, even though people who actually supported the president, who actually supported his real America First mission, by that I mean America First, no more wars, no more mass migration, bring the troops home, end this foreign entanglement. The real America First movement had been telling him for a long time, don't get involved in another war in Iran. All of his close supporters had been telling him that. Charlie Kirk, before he was assassinated, told the president privately, do not get us in another war with Iran. Tucker Carlson told the president that. And Tucker Carlson had apparently a very large falling out with President Trump after saying that about a month or so ago. So Donald Trump, I don't think actually wanted this war, but he didn't listen to the words of caution because the neoconservatives that he has in his administration, or the neoconservative type people that are advising him, close to him, the Lindsey Graham types, those people unfortunately are better at persuading him. And in fact, there are some reports right now that Lindsey Graham, U.S. Senator from South Carolina, may have visited with Bibi Netanyahu to get coaching on how to persuade the president to do something stupid that would inevitably get us sucked into a war because of the mission creep I just said. Donald Trump was, in my opinion, trying to do something sort of like the JCPOA that Obama had. Obama had the JCPOA agreement with Iran, which basically we're not going to build, Iran was saying, okay, we're not going to build a nuke, but we're just going to keep this level of nuclear activity, but we're not going to build a bomb, okay? So Trump tore that up. He said, we're not going to recognize the JCPOA signed by the Biden administration. And I think what Trump wanted to do, because of his ego, was he wanted to do something like the JCPOA with bluster, where he drops some bombs on some mountains and he gets sort of Iran to like back down a little bit, like, oh, okay. And that worked with Venezuela. To some extent, that worked with North Korea, even though North Korea already had a bomb. You know, United States and North Korea, Donald Trump was this close to having a peace deal with North Korea. He was doing peace through strength, as he calls it. He was talking tough with Kim Jong. You know, they were getting ready to kill each other and set the world on fire, and then both parties came down and backed down, and then you saw that famous meeting with Trump where he goes across the DMZ and stomps on the rocks, you know. So I think Trump was trying to do something like that. But guess what? In that situation, John Bolton ruined it. John Bolton got involved in those negotiations and he ruined that. And that's why Trump had a big public falling out with John Bolton. Well, once again, Donald Trump let people trick him into going too far because those people who have a pro-Israel, neoconservative, Zionist agenda, their goal, they love this. This is their dream come true. They're like, oh, we finally get to go invade Iran. Yay! They've been waiting for this for years. They are so excited.
So many people around Donald Trump have hidden agenda.
Yes.
To persuade him.
Oh, not even a hidden agenda. It's like very open. They're very open. They're like they're like Bond villains in a James Bond movie. Why, yes, as a matter of fact, we are going to put sharks with laser beams on, and we're going to slowly release you down into this pool while you're chained up on the pole. Yes, and then we're going to release this poison into the earth. Yeah, they're like very open about their plans. Like they're not even hiding.
Yeah, and the last moment I watched that Donald Trump is blame that say or mentioned that the people around like Jared
Yeah.
or Peter Hexet.
Yes.
they heard about this war because he listened his
Yes. And unfortunately, because of the mission creep phenomenon that I've talked about earlier, now we're locked in. If Donald Trump pulls out now, he's going to look really stupid and look really weak. And also, the Iranians, for obvious reasons, after 50 years of being bullied by the United States, are like, no, we're not going to negotiate. We're not going to go back and sit down.
Yeah.
You know, we had 2 negotiations, and each and every time you just used as a stalling tactic to rearm Israel and try and kill the negotiators. No, we're not going to negotiate. We're going to keep going, and we're going to attack your bases. So I can't really blame the Iranians for being unwilling to settle down and have negotiations. So now Donald Trump is in a pickle. I don't think he wanted to get in this, but now he can't get out. That's why you see Donald Trump desperately trying to have negotiations with Iran. It's too little too late. We're locked in now. The only way that we can get out of this, if Donald Trump says, okay, look, enough of these wars. We're done with Israel. We're not going to support Israel anymore doing this nonsense. Israel, you've got to stop. You're on your own. We're not going to support you anymore. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Probably, some people say Donald Trump is compromised in the Epstein files, like he's done something dirty or sexual with a 14-year-old. That's possible. Maybe they have something on him like that. It's also possible that he's afraid of being assassinated by Bibi Netanyahu because, as you remember, there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump not that long ago. So it's possible that they're trying to kill him. They tried to kill him, or they sent a message to like warn him, hey, you better toe the line with our plans or else. The other possibility, or some combination of this, is that the United States is definitely terrified of Israel's nuclear weapons. The idea that Israel, as Israel is losing credibility, as it's losing control of its country, as the situation gets more and more chaotic and desperate, you see Israeli generals today are talking about the possibility that the Israeli IDF might fall apart because of so much stress on their military. People in Washington are terrified that Israel, in a state of panic and desperation, might use a nuclear weapon on Iran to finish off the job. And when that happens, all bets are off. You could easily see a situation where Russia and China get involved and they might start dropping nukes on Israel in return. We have no idea how dangerous or crazy this could get. It could get really ugly.
Okay, Harry. In this war, you know, America is America is the founder with NATO, you know, and usually in previous war, when America, let's say we say about Iraq, then you involve it. European is help America to strike Iraq. But at the time when U.S. strike Iran, European is not join with U.S. to strike Iran. What's your opinion about it?
Well, of course not. Europe would be foolish to do such a thing. Europe is already dealing with the lasting effects of all these wars over the last 2 decades. Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. The streets of European capitals are filled with refugees many of whom have criminal backgrounds or they do criminal things. Most of whom are just honest, decent people that are stuck in a terrible situation. But, oftentimes they come to Europe seeking refuge from these wars. They don't speak the language. They don't really assimilate. They get on welfare. Some of them do honest work and get involved. And I don't want to demonize people who are traumatized and struggling. Like they're in a terrible situation. I get it. But it's a mess for the Europeans who never wanted millions and millions of people coming into their countries like this. And so that and the fact that the price of oil is going to go up exponentially for some of these European countries is just a terrible move. Terrible situation. You already have a situation where it looks like the United States government may have sabotaged the Nord Stream pipeline coming from Russia to Germany. So now on top of that, you're going to start another war that's going to really cut off the flow of oil from the Strait of Hormuz and possibly the rest of the Middle East. America is seeing some price spikes in oil too, like everybody else. But America is now one of the largest or the largest oil producers. Yeah. We're in a very different situation than we were back in the 1970s. So theoretically, the Europeans could go to hell in a handbasket when it comes to the price of oil. And America, we'd see some price increases. What do you mean I gotta spend $200 to fill up my truck instead of $150? But we nailed it. Europe, on the other hand, is in a lot.
So that's why many countries of European not join at this time.
Oh, they're pissed. Yes, they're pissed. If I was a European, I'd be super pissed too. I mean, this kind of thing is we might destroy NATO in the next few years. It's possible the NATO alliance will have serious, irreparable cracks and fissures. And that's not even considering the fact that Turkey, being a NATO member, you see Israel increasingly trying to go after Turkey, Turkey's the next enemy, Turkey's the next enemy. Well, Turkey's the largest military in NATO, one of the largest militaries in NATO. How's that going to work out? How's that going to work out when the United States now has to choose between a NATO ally and Israel? That could very easily destroy the NATO alliance completely. What a mess.
Okay.
What a mess.
And last you mentioned that Donald Trump has offered the Iran negotiations.
Yes.
But I read it's such a it's like impossible to Iran accept it.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well, of course. I mean, no. After what happened to them, like I said, where they tried to have negotiations twice, and then the Israelis and certain people in the American machine decided to sabotage them and try and kill Iranian negotiators just to buy time to do some dirty deed. I mean, if I was no self-respecting Iranian, politician or otherwise, would tolerate such unbelievable thuggery, trickery, deceit, and backstabbing. No self-respecting human being from any country, no self-respecting nation or world leader would tolerate such disrespect and deceit. So I don't blame the Iranians in the slightest. And why should the Iranians stop? They're winning right now. Yes, they take heavy losses. Yes, we have technological superiority in many ways. But because the war is already so unpopular in the United States, it was the idea of invading Iran was super unpopular before we started. Every loss for America is it's such a huge loss back home. Whereas every loss in Iran is okay, we're Iranians, we're martyrs, fits in with our Shia tradition. Alhamdulillah, our glorious martyrs. Let's have some more martyrdom. Let's keep going. So, very different mindset. Very different mindset. They have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. Completely different situation.
Okay, last but